What's going on, guys? It's Muncher here, and today I'm going to show you all the easiest tips and tricks to unlock the WAKIZASHIs that we've released in the mid-season update today as quickly as possible. I know I made a video on this a few weeks back now, maybe 4 weeks back, when we thought that this weapon would be dropped with Season 1 release, and it wasn't. And we've had really no word when it'd be released until this week, and we found out that it is dropped today in the mid-season update. And so if you stick with me, I'm going to show you everything you need to unlock this as quickly as possible. There is a blueprint in the store if you want to shell out some real money and skip this. I know a lot of people don't, and I personally think the challenges aren't too bad as long as you know what you're doing and know the right things to equip. So let's jump into it. So first up, this video is going to cover both multiplayer and Warzone. Multiplayer is by far the easiest way to unlock it. So you do have Cold War. If you have bought it, make sure to utilise it. You can do it in Warzone. I will share some tips on how to do it. You are primarily going to be playing Plunder though, just as a heads up. I'm sure the majority of you know this. But regardless, class setup is key for any of these challenges. So let's cover that first, and then we'll get into the more specifics about each side of things a bit later. And so first up, the first thing you're going to want to make sure you got equipped on either Modern Warfare perks for Warzone or Cold War is you're going to want to make sure you're running Ghost, purely so you stay off the radar. You know, you're trying to be sneaky, trying to get behind people. You don't want to be pinging on the radar just because you forgot to equip Ghost. And next up in Cold War, equip Ninja. It keeps your footprints silent, your footsteps silent rather than your footprints. It's going to save you a world of pain of people hearing you coming up the stairs in your clogs. Just equip it, even if you don't use it afterwards. I don't know why you wouldn't. Ninja's one of the best perks in the game, but still, even if you don't use it afterwards, just equip it for now, and it'll save you a world of pain. As far as Plunder goes, obviously you spawn in and you do have field upgrades. Make sure to use a Dead Silence for this. I know some people like to run munitions boxes in Plunder. Run Dead Silence. It's going to save you, again, a world of pain. You know, enemies are going to be listening out for you with a UAV that's pretty much constantly on with a number of UAVs in Plunder. Just make sure that you have Ghost and Dead Silence running at all times if you can. Aside from that, make sure you're running a field mic if you're in multiplayer. That way, if you are in behind enemy lines, you can just pop one down and all of a sudden you have your free UAV right there and you can see exactly where all the enemies are, where they're running, if you need to be cautious or if you can go in for the kill. I'd also recommend running stuns in both games just because it slows the enemy down so much that you can literally just walk behind them and execute them there and then. And it is important to note with both of these game modes that the biggest risk to you is once you're executing that finishing move, which has to be done with the knife out, so it's no good just having the knife in your class and executing them with a MAC-10. You have to be wary of what's around you, because the biggest risk you're going to find is other enemies killing you whilst you're executing this finishing move. And there's nothing more annoying than thinking you got your second finishing move, like you're one away and an enemy shoots you while you're mid-execution. And so the next tip would be look through your finishing moves that you have unlocked. There's a lot of them in the game, and kind of try to gauge which one is the shortest. Obviously, some are very intricate, some are very cool, some take quite a while. But for this one, you're going to want short, snappy as you can. You know, really don't give the enemy chance to get that final bullet into you. Because if you get that execution off and then they kill you, that's not a big deal. You know, you've got your job done. But you don't want to be killed mid-execution. Now, like I said, I'm going to split this between Cold War multiplayer and Warzone. I'll leave time stamps in the description and probably in the pinned comment below, so you can just jump to whichever one you want. I know a lot of people don't want to play Cold War, but it is by far the easier method. So if you do have it, I would just say suck it up just for this challenge. And so really simply put, the maps you're going to want to be looking at for Cold War is Newtown. Is maybe Raid if you're particularly confident, particularly comfortable on that map. Newtown be where I'd start. It's small, it's easy to flank. The spawns sometimes just gift you flanks, like you die and you spawn up behind the enemy. That's free executions, and I can't think of an easier map to do it on, to be honest. And if you want to get this done quickly, it's the easiest one to do. It really is a simple case of kind of pushing through to the enemy's spawn, to the enemy's house as quickly as you can, almost lying in wait until an unsuspecting enemy runs past you, especially in the upstairs of the houses where people's main focus are getting to the window so they can shoot people out of there. Really easy executions. Obviously, like I said before, the biggest issue you're going to run into is people killing you whilst you're executing, which you'll actually see in a couple of these clips here. So I do actually get killed mid-execution, and that really is going to be the biggest threat. And all of these clips were caught in a couple of games, so like it didn't take much to get myself in a position to carry out this finishing moves on people. It really wasn't difficult. So stick to Nuketown, stick to the stuns, and you're going to be perfectly fine. And if we roll onto Warzone, because I know a lot of people will not play Cold War, don't have Cold War. Plunder's where it's at. Like I said before, run the class that I said. And as far as plunder goes, once you find a UAV, pop it. You know, you're not there to win. Go to a buy station and buy a UAV if you can't find one. And then it really is just kind of stunning people, you know, making sure you're in behind, making sure you've got dead silence where you can, or at the very most you're crouching, like crouch walking for as long as you can just to keep yourself hidden. Obviously in Plunder you can down people, so you know, if you are in a gunfight and you do down someone, like a 1v1 gunfight, don't be afraid to just run around them and execute them then. That still counts, I believe. And it's a pretty easy way to get a finishing move on someone. It can be a bit trickier, as you'll see in the clip now, where if they have their back to a wall, or if they're, for example, just crawling around in circles, they can make you look like a bit of a fool, but we won't talk about that. And that really is all there is to it in terms of gameplay. The gameplay itself isn't hard, it's just making sure you're set up as well and prepared as you can be to go in there. I forgot to record an outro, so here it is now. That is all I'm going to put up for today. It's a fairly easy challenge. It literally just takes a bit of time to get into the lobbies where the skill level is low enough that you can carry out the executions. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.